Hey guys, this is me, Chris, and George, except George is not here. And we're going to do the thing where Chris plays against Crazy Stone, 6-stone level. And we check out what's he thinking about, how's he doing this. And then I try to translate his grand ideas into English I can understand.
For the masses, you know.
Computer 6-stone, our color white. That way I can mark things on the board. No handicap. And black starts. No. We. This is always confusing to me. I want to have the white stones on the board, which means you're black. So on here,
yeah, you're relaying my moves to the bot and relaying my the bot's moves to me.
Okay, that means
you are black against the robot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There, nope, not there. There. Okay, that is always so confusing to me. I have a hard time spatially. When I go to the dentist and he says, you know, where's the problem? If it's in my head, I don't even know up, down, right, and left. I get so confused. It's the funniest thing.
Somewhere in my mouth, doctor.
He had to take him tooth out a couple years back, and I couldn't. I'd tell him which one because like, well, that hurts a little bit. That hurts more. Up, down. So I was confused. She said, well, just bite down. I said, well, it hurts a little bit. Bite down now. That's the one. That's just funny. It took him an hour to get the tooth out. He was cursing, swearing, and both hands in there, trying to get it out. It was hilarious.
But that's good, though. That's how you know you've got good, strong teeth.
Okay, black plays here. Really? I do not even know what that would mean. Okay, when you come out, I've seen you do this number of times. You're seeing these two stones as just information, not a group. Yep. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. I call that a pre-pinch in the upper left. You're pinching the stone that's not there yet. As you attack, all perfect. Okay. And even the 3, you're not feeling committed to.
Right. Just keeping him separated so it costs him. Correct. Just keeping him separated so it costs him more time to try to link them together.
And any particular reason you wouldn't choose bottom right? Or are they both just fine?
They're both fine. It's just if I'm expecting at some point white to come into the upper left area, then I want something productive to do on the top side so I can give the left away.
I see. So now when you plays in the upper left, anything you do, you're developing things on top, things of that nature. Okay. Will make sense.
He's really committed to sealing the 3 stones. I mean, he can, I guess.
That is exactly what we want to see. What happens with these 3 black stones?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, question here. Black to play. Do you run through your head, like, and then make a decision, or do you just like have a pattern?
Sometimes I run through my head. Like at this position, I did consider A, but I don't really want to touch the N3 stone because part of what I do with the 3 left black stones involves reinvading the bottom. So in this position, it's kind of easy to discard A as a choice. I think between B and C, they're both fine. D is not one that I usually play all that often.
Right.
But in certain situations where it makes sense, I'll think about it.
Okay.
I'm curious to see if it's going to crawl or if it's going to try to cut through me. Shall we resume play on the board?
Oh, thank you.
Stone is now appearing. This direction choice is a little bit interesting for me. By white, I mean.
Yeah, things are happening here. I wouldn't mind if we pause for a second. Let me just set this up. Okay. So our marked stones, we may well turn into a group, but there's just, right now, they're just information, which is really hard for me to, I see those 3 stones, I want them to be a group. So let that go. Then we see area 1, nice big gap, and I can actually, as black, take that because I have a wall. You've got to also be thinking of this idea since it works so well on the right. So expand on that. What are you seeing here? What plans might you be developing?
Well, when white gives me this wall, and I'm marking the Q7 and Q8 points as well because I can push those. It makes a very interesting case for actually turning these into a group now.
Why?
Because white has the gap, but area 1, white still has to worry about. White's only territory is in the bottom right corner right now. Black has a corner and a half. So black has pretty good territory. If I bring the stones out now and run them towards this wall white's given me, it's hard for white to separate the group from the wall, and I'm surrounding the 3 stones. It's just kind of like white's giving me the option to come out and start attacking now.
So this sort of picture.
Yeah.
I see. Because your A group easily runs home to a strong home.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a nice little picture.
Yep. So I'm thinking about it. Actually, if this is something I want to commit to, I don't have to commit to it. I can do something else, of course, but it's a very interesting plan nonetheless. Yeah. If we can resume the play, then I'll play my next move.
I have a follow-up question.
Okay, sure.
This move, we all know it's Sente because, I mean, things are falling apart dramatically. Right. Okay. This guy.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of power? What is this Sente?
It's half Sente. Very hard to call it full Sente because like white could easily ignore it and just suffer the double Hane. But
well, it's all about the double Hane.
Yeah, but it's a matter of how painful is giving black A and B. Okay. If black gets A and B with the thick shape in the top right corner, it's very good for black, typically. And the 3 stones being very light, like they're not dead yet, even in one more move. They're gonna be traded probably for the corner, something like C or D. So eventually they'll probably end up dead, but the territory that white gets there is so small after black invades the bottom, it's really not worth capturing to give up AB plus the bottom left corner. So I would say in most cases, this is again for like people watching, right? In like most cases, the push at Q8 is going to be Sente when black has the Shimari or any Shimari in the top right corner. Because the double Hane is just so painful, so powerful. And that's not even getting into the local follow-ups that black has. Like, for example, if white ignores again, black has things like this. And even though white can fix it, black can still poke at the corner with it later. It's hard for white to come in because black gets all the nice squeezing, this kind of stuff. So black's even getting more local benefit later if black wants to take it with that push through, or even the direct attachment's also fine. So just, usually it's going to be Sente because almost nothing is going to be bigger than giving black that double Hane.
Okay, so let's assume white plays. How much Sente is in this one?
Far less than the previous one.
Any variations worth looking at?
So the one that we want to consider is whether or not white can ignore this. If white can ignore this Hane, then it's usually far less painful. So like, for example, if we push and cut, can white connect? Or if white captures, how bad is this? If white can't connect, like if this is going to be a working result for black, then white needs to be very careful. In that case, white will answer the double Hane, and it's going to be slightly less than the last variation, but still good for black, in my opinion. So probably white will answer this one most of the time. If the first one is like 95% white answers, this one's closer to like 80% of the time white answers to avoid the follow-up. But neither one of them are full Sente, to be honest.
White will probably play here, right?
Right, and then black is going to have the tombstone squeeze in the corner.
So if this only move, we're going to save. And then Atari.
And then cut, and then capture, throw in and take. The classic tombstone squeeze.
So white wins the battle, but black gets all the squeezes.
This result is typically better for black. It's something like it's very reminiscent to an old trick play Joseki that in English was dubbed the 19-point wall trick play. Where
I think I gotta know what you mean. I mean, it's a famous one.
It's the one that involves like Tesuji after Tesuji, but black just sacrifices like 10 stones in the corner, gives white 20 points, and gets perfect thickness across the entire board. It's like
I've shown that so many times.
So it's very similar to that one. So generally speaking, white doesn't want to give up those double Hanes. Most of the time, white's going to answer them.
Thank you for letting me ask all those questions.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, I think, actually, the knight's move here versus the one space jump, maybe for some of the Q players that watch. My only comment about the knight's move here is you're asking white to cut you. And the reason that you do that is because now you've presented a problem on two fronts. How is white going to deal with the cutting stone at B, and how is white going to answer the attachment that's creating a sector line with the mark stone from A?
So leaving the weakness on purpose because it's two problems.
All right.
I do have a follow-up question, and,
Sure.
and I don't want to bore people, but we're here. So we go on this path. Let's say I'm black, and I like what's going on here. And all of a sudden, white plays here. And I'm like, well, actually, I didn't read this out.
Yeah, that can be a little scary.
I don't think that strong players ever read this stuff or hardly ever read it out. There's an underlying assumption, it'll turn out okay.
Yeah, it's because the white shape is just too thin. Like white has cuttable one space jumps, and white's group here is effectively an empty triangle. So there's a liberty shortage on one side and there's cutting points on the other. So our brain sort of subconsciously realizes that if white is trying to go down this path, white is going to fall apart. We don't read it because we've seen the pattern so many times that we know that
the one space jumps.
Yeah, we know that this particular type of running pattern, if white ever tries to cut through, it means white gets cut through on the other side. So one player can cut, but they will also get cut in turn. It's the symmetry of the pattern. So not to mention this bump is also just bad shape most of the time.
Right.
Yeah. So but yeah, so we go back to, I think I played this one. I'll give you control back and then we can reset the play. So
there you go. Black to play.
Yeah, so I'm happy to see white doing this. Now, the move that white played here is the Honte move. This is what white should be doing. White's not giving black any extra strength with this group to hurt the 3 stones, and white's just kind of settling the area and removing my invasion. But I'm just going to keep pestering white's connection since white said he's interested in it. And get my freebies. And again, I'm not worried about getting cut for the same reason as before.
Right.
Oh, that's aggressive. White is trying to resist.
Okay, now let's just so white comes up. Black plays a move that starts a path.
Yep.
There's lots of paths we can start here. Black says, this is the path. Well, the A group, you got to admit, it's a little funny. Cuts everywhere.
Yeah.
Why is it that you're like, oh, this is good. Oh, this is good for me.
Because I got these moves for free. White answered everything that I played in these areas, and they were originally white's area. So I'm just yeah, that's fine. They're all Kikashi. The fact that white has to play stones inside his own territory to answer the initial move, even if white captures them, I didn't lose anything. I'll just gain on the outside.
I see. So white can go freely on the A path because worst case, I give them up and I haven't lost anything. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
I see. So it's just a free road and then to make important decisions later. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. Also, the Q5 wall is still very finicky because we have invisible stones at Q7 and Q8. If those stones are already on the board, then the wall doesn't look so weak in this fight.
Yeah, except it's white's move.
Yeah, if he wants to spend a move there and go to kill him, go for it.
Okay. And how against are you playing this first?
I don't know if I'd say I'm against it. I just like withholding exchanges until absolutely necessary.
Yeah, and I've talked with enough professionals. They all feel exactly the same way.
So basically, when I'm asking with this A move is white going to cut and fight me? When white decides to cut and fight, for me, the interest in pushing at Q7 becomes higher. But before white chooses that, like if white had chosen to play a little bit more softly here, I probably wouldn't mind white playing Q7, and I wouldn't bother making those exchanges to stop it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm
sense.
letting white determine when the best timing for those exchanges will be. And at the last possible moment is probably when I will take it, if I take it at all.
Yeah.
Because the drawback to me not taking it is that I make white play one move there and gote. I'm not really worried about that. The group at R7 is alive already. I'm spending a move in gote to make it more alive by killing 3 stones.
Right.
It's not very impressive.
Even though it's Arsente, doesn't mean that it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he said time for black to commit.
Yep. Shall we resume?
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Get a lot of liberties. Get ready to connect under. Get ready to cut. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And worst case, if we sacrifice them, make them very expensive.
Yeah. The 3 stones still might die, but so many options. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one. Interesting. I expected white to push down at K2 with me, but he's choosing something a little more interesting.
Now this gets back to the 3 stones on the left. You've treated lightly from the beginning, and here you are going, oh, this still light. Go ahead and cut them. I don't care.
Yep.
Very consistent. I like it.
Okay. Now white does not have good shape here. White shape is not very strong here.
Yeah, black getting points, solidness.
And now the 3 stones are just completely dead.
Yeah.
Give me just a moment.
Almost completely dead.
Sorry about that. I was getting a phone call from my father. He's cleaning out some space because that's where we're moving to. He was cleaning out some space and had some questions for me. Yeah, so now the 3 stones have died. Q7 is becoming really difficult even now for white to play because the 4 stones are also being hurt. And white's still, okay, now white's going after the 3 stones here, finally. But even those 3 stones are still not completely dead.
Right.
Okay.
for any viewers, the way black, the timing he used gave white that empty triangle that's kind of ugly looking. Not that I want to hurt its feelings, it's just ugly looking.
It has a very functional purpose later, because now when I'm jumping out at J9, it goes from just being like a regular one space jump to being a fairly tight surround against the white stones. And makes it hard for white to commit to pushing through the bamboo to reduce my liberties. It'll turn on possible like snapback tessages, and then the empty triangle group is cut off, and white has to worry about a whole bunch of stuff now. Now I think is the best timing for this one. So we are going to fire on all cylinders. There is no reason to hold this anymore.
Yeah. Once white came up at A, we were finally behind enemy lines. So that's when I would have played B, but you did the C stuff first and then got to B.
Yeah. I mean, the order is probably interchangeable, to be honest, but I didn't want to risk... in the one hand, probably you get to the same result anyway. But if you start with the pushes on the right first, there's always that chance that white looks at that group and goes, you know what? No, I think the center is better. I'm going to try to go after the center instead.
Yeah.
And then if that happens, you've given white the option to trade, whereas this variation guarantees we get here and white doesn't get the trade. So yeah, and I don't think there's a world where white ignores this push at this point. I lied. Okay. White ignored it. I do have to step out one time, then I cannot get sealed here. So I like this now because this white move at L9 has induced me to answer white J10 or H10. So it's kind of like I'm answering with a Sente move. It's really good. Do I do it like that first? Oh, it wants to go this way. I expected it to save the corner. I had to count. Sorry about that. There's really only two choices that you're considering in a shape like this, and that's whether you're going to fire the S5 cylinder now or whether you're going to try to play the Hane first. And I think playing the Hane first is just better. It's too big for white to give it up. Now, this is where I really like having the T16 Shamari for middle games like this, because the one space high is really, really useful when you've got running fights in the center. Oh, the double high.
Okay, I got a question. White can now, if he wishes, cut and surround our A group. We agree?
Yep. He can try it.
When it comes to the life of the A group, I'm thinking black's not going to get two eyes in area one in the corner.
Mm.
And that black's sort of relying on this.
It's part of the equation, yeah.
So boom, let's go like that and that. Well, I guess there's more eyes over here too.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, so we're not concerned. That's the first thing I think when I see this hunt. I go, oh, our corner. Well, we have an awful lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're good. Okay.
Yeah, there's a fairly good amount of good Aji in this corner for black. It's one of the benefits of playing the S7 exchange before doing all the stuff on the outside. And it just makes it very difficult for white to do anything meaningful. And then we can resume play.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that one's a little hard for me. You did that so casually.
The Tiger's Mouse?
Here, well, with your move,
I'm leaving
a
the
very
turn.
nice strong turn.
Oh, and I'm hoping he plays it.
I don't like white having such a strong turn.
Oh, I do.
So this move comes to mind. Weak turn. I can honey and everything.
Yeah.
Why? How do you make this choice and why?
I don't think his turn is that impactful locally because I have super thick Shamari, so he can't do anything positive on the right side with it. But also, if he's making these exchanges, he's hurting himself. So I'm letting him have the forcing moves. By all means, take them because you have to fix, and then I get to cut you. And then it didn't matter. So all roads are going to lead to Rome here. I'm just forcing him to hurt himself if he turns.
I see.
Yeah.
So we're saying the A group is weak. And if white plays his wonderful move, any move here, any sequence hurts white's main weak group.
Yep.
I like that. Now, even though white can just get out, still the whole point is he's got this stupid little group. Okay, good.
Yep. Like it would make more sense on this board for white to not turn there actually and to just capture the one stone. Like a move around Q12 would make a lot of sense locally. But it's kind of, this Tiger's Mouth is very subtle, almost a trap kind of move because like players up to like 4 or 5 down that are overly reliant on patterns will see that turn and they're like, oh, he's leaving me such a good turn. Duh. Why wouldn't I take it? And they don't think about the implication of what that actually means.
Yes, the first thing I thought of is, wait, you're giving him the turn. Oh, it hurts the group. Every single time. see your games, play against you, anything. It's like, oh, the thinking. It's good thinking.
This one's awfully brittle. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I made a mistake.
Anything you want to show us, or just keep going?
I want to see what he does first. Okay, never mind. Crisis averted. Okay. Yeah, I can show you. I came to the realization a little bit late. I should cut first. When I commit to this one, white has time to extend.
Oh, I see.
And this one's annoying. This one's really annoying because it threatens his own type of connecting through. And yeah, white can give up the 3 stones, but if white connects the weak group, then I don't have an attack anymore. I'm probably still better, but now it's like going to go to endgame. I'm not going to force it to resign. So I should cut and make these exchanges in the corner first to break by Sente and then cut so he doesn't have that resistance. But now in the game variation, since it actually answered with the Atari, I have the ability to extend here in Sente, which is what I'm going to do, and then I can leave it.
Yeah. Now you mentioned something about the 3 stones dying. What's that?
If white chose to connect through, then ignoring my cut at 012, I could move.
Show me. I can't follow all that.
Pass me control again.
Oh.
Yeah, I was saying there was a possible world where if white had found this move, white might consider, like in some variation like this, white might consider just connecting through and sacrificing the stones to be clean.
Okay, so he might give up the 3, but he can't capture them unless you want him to. Okay.
Right.
Tar, you save once.
Yeah. Yeah, just to increase liberties and require him to spend 2 more moves to do it. If we can resume control.
Thank you.
Yeah, now I have time to come back and fix my problem here. Yeah, that was bad sequencing by me just now. I should have thought about it a little longer.
Yeah.
I realized that in hindsight, very sloppy. But that's probably like par for the course, just me not playing a lot every day. I'm sort of less sharp to noticing these things. Sometimes I just get into this, like when I know I'm winning, I get into a little bit of a lull, and I don't think the whole way through. Do I want to continue one more time? Now, it'll probably take the timing to play something around. Oh, never mind. It still wants to attack me. I thought I was going to defend the cutting point next. It appears I was mistaken.
So we're back to him having a pretty weak center group.
Yep.
At this, for the first time, I'm thinking of killing white. Up to here, I wouldn't even cross my mind. But I'm like, I'm sorry, he's horrible.
Yeah, he's not in a good.
Now he's dead.
Yeah, he's not in a very good spot.
And why not here?
K12. K12 is also fine. I want to play the move that's strongest against both sides. K12, he'll just try to switch, break the top, that kind of thing.
Aren't you kind of letting him out?
Perhaps a little, but I'm
you're
not
saying
super
he's
worried
awfully
about
weak
it.
on top too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if he ends up running along the 12 line and I get stones on the 11th line, I'm also surrounding his bad looking empty triangle. So maybe later we can do something against that too.
Oh, he came out here.
It's making sense. I'm still going to go here. Later, the push at R12 will become big for black if white starts giving away the 4 stones here. Well, white decided he can't give up anything. Now this Shamari in the top right is like an Omega Shamari.
Yeah. Yeah, the
So
upper right
good
Shamari is
for
really
attacking.
shining now. If we
I
play
didn't even have to do
thin,
anything to it.
full of holes, he has counterplay. That gave us enough liberties where now if he cuts us, not a problem.
Yep. Oh, white does go for the cut. I thought white might try to block here. I guess not. Yeah, now his white group in the center is dead. Dead locally anyway.
Okay, so we're saying A's dead. Our B group is alive. 2 eyes alive. Our C group lacking in eyes.
Sure.
But it has connected under a D. It has a nice little, so there's moves. So it's not like we're about to die.
Yeah. It's got more options for life than white A.
Okay. Now, our A group. He's not about to kill us. He's not about to cut us. Do we agree?
There's a squeeze possibility if we're not careful.
Squeeze?
Yeah. So if we sort of look at it, he's got the wedge at J8.
So if we we'll go real simple here.
And then cut. And now play Atari on the 3. Yeah, like that. That's what he can aim for. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So if he had nothing and this black move is simply pleasant, then I would think highly of breaking, making sure that white's dead.
Yeah, it would be worth spending a move to commit to the kill.
Good. Okay. And white comes back. Atari.
Yeah, this Atari is like white's only move. So, but we'll go ahead and connect.
Resume.
Yeah. And white doesn't have the liberties to catch this this little lizard.
Right. We just have plenty of liberties, and yeah. So then we can state that the game's over.
Pretty much, yep.
Yeah.
The game is, I mean, even this move is in Sente, so I'm ignoring it. So yeah, at this point, white is completely cooked.
Okay. Let's make this our last move, because at this point it's just tidy some things up.
Yeah.
This move gets us tons of liberties.
Correct.
So if we do nothing, well, we've only got a few liberties. Yeah, but we'll be getting out. Yeah, but it's uncomfortable. So I don't think we have to play here, but I agree. I want to play here a lot.
Yeah.
Does it sound like we have some agreement?
Yeah, and it's also hurting the M16 group's ability to make eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I want to compare that to, I might have a feeling that he can kill me here or something.
Sure. He can play that. And R12 is a move that black really wants to get at some point.
Right.
It's very big. I just don't want to deal with all the Sentes he's going to get around L16. I think, for us, blocking that area is going to be bigger because it has two threats. It threatens R12 and it threatens G11.
Okay.
He's got to worry about both areas, the right and the left.
Okay, good. Okay, let's do some review here.
Sure.
The one thing we've seen you do a lot of times is, okay, let me get my thoughts straight here. Something we see most commonly is we switch to this Joseki. Okay, we're all familiar. The idea being, A is a stone to be used, not an actual group.
Right.
Okay. Now you come along and you say, yeah, same thing. I'm just making it two stones that I'm just going to use. They're not a real group.
Yeah.
That is something I don't think 3 dawn on down would ever cross their mind. That's hard.
Yeah.
And then, okay, this, great. And we're totally imagining, yeah, of course I'm going to come out and attack your group. But even this, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
This is a real group. I'm going to save my group. I'm going to attack everyone. The idea of playing away here is you got to be joking. We've got to save my cuts, get my group safe, and go on the attack.
It's possible to do that. It's a plan, one of many. But in general, the way that I've always found it is when you look at sort of just the function of individual forcing moves and stones, like the reason why we play them. I mean, what is the purpose of jumping at E6? Just the inherent fundamental purpose of jumping to E6.
Get my group out so I don't die.
No, it's to separate white. You prevent white C8 and you prevent D4 from being able to talk to each other with one move. So if we
why? In order to
that's what we'll
die.
get at. That's what we'll get
I
at.
want to die.
So this doesn't die because he can still wedge. But if white can connect on top of us in one move, that's usually pleasant for white. So we say, okay, we don't want to make it so easy. So we jump. White answers, okay, well, white can no longer come on top of us in one move. It takes 2 steps.
Yeah.
So white spends. Now white can go back on top of us. We evaluate, okay, do we think that's pleasant, or do we want to make it harder for him to see each other? Okay, well, just one more time. We'll make it harder. White answers, okay, it takes 2 steps again. And we can play away. Boom. And we got we got A and B in two other big places in exchange for C and D, which are playing in the same local area. That loses value every time we add stones to it.
I agree. And I have a fair amount of understanding.
Yeah.
But this is a big difference. Q player, I'm attacking white. I will now defend my group and continue the attack. And you're like, no, I'm just separating and I'm just going to give the stones up later. I don't care about them. That's really different.
Yeah, world's different, huh?
So kind of like, well, what are we thinking? What are you thinking? And you're like, well, first we know from this idea that A's just, A's nothing. It's just use it later. And you're saying, yeah, continue to just use it later. That's okay. Try to wrap my mind around that one. Okay, we do this. We did all that. Makes sense. Makes sense. And now we start a path. A sane person, step one, don't get surrounded. You're like, that helps white a little bit, and I don't need it. Okay. Let's start this without committing. Okay. Granted, it's all looking good. Okay, still looking good. Let's just get some liberties. So again, the 3 A stones, 3 whole stones, not committed. 3 whole stones at B, not committed. This is what I'm trying to get across to viewers. It's a different way of looking at things, and that's what I'm trying to bring out. Boom, boom, boom. This is cute. Every Q player on the planet, duh, everyone knows we're going to play here. Even anyone would play there. No. Just kill the stones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess if we just played here, then white also has good shape instead of bad shape.
Right.
All good. Get over to B. Okay. Here, I would really be tempted to start this surround.
You can do it. I think it's fine.
This is rather patient.
I really like the L9 direction if I'm actually planning to cut through the knight's move.
What knight's move?
So let me see if I can have control.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. If I'm planning to cut through that knight's move, then I like L9 a little more. But I wasn't actually thinking about cutting through it on this board, so L9 didn't come across my brain.
I see.
This kind of move is like defending shape and preparing cut. It's
okay. So to put it more bluntly, if we get this strong position, then we can easily start slicing through.
Yeah.
However, we're going to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But that's not on your mind, so go about your business. Go about your business. Oh, that's nice. Come back over here. Making sense. Making sense. Lovely move. Okay. Got that. Got that. Move. Get the Aji going. Aji. Get your corner. Okay. And get all this in. We're either going to kill a big top or cut and go after this group. And there's still options everywhere for killing so many things.
Yeah, white's just way too busy now. Because white started the fight. White started the fight when white couldn't start the fight. So white needed to be more patient. White rushed it and then...
Yeah. Take us to the spot that actually started the fight where white says, I am now fighting.
This one. It was when white chose to come out and resist instead of connecting.
Okay.
So at this point, white could have played this one, or white could have ignored and kicked in the corner. Both of these would avoid the fight. This one would prevent black from getting L3, which is pleasant, and would make black have to be conscientious of this relationship a little bit.
Yeah.
So black might choose to do the double push now, and then might choose to do something like peep jump to go after the white stones.
There you go.
And this would have been a much easier game for white to handle. I mean, I still like it a little bit for black, but it's like very light pressure against A because the shape at B is so thin. So white's not particularly scared of dying with A. And at this point, white can either try to fix A by Sente, or white can try to break the upper side, but this would be a different game.
Yeah.
Probably an easier game, but instead what white does is white chooses to make the game complicated. This situation, I really think that part of the reason that this push was super bad, if black did block, white could extend now. And there's no timing to cut anymore.
Right.
So black would have to fix in some way, and then white would be able to get A materialize for free, and then white can extend to B.
Yeah.
That's why it probably thought this was good because of that, but I can just cut now and it never gets time. Even if it plays like this one, this isn't going to be particularly impressive. It doesn't quite work for white. So this whole situation ends up becoming very bad for the AI.
Yeah. Now, we're saying that white starting a fight.
Yeah.
And we're saying white doesn't have the right.
Yeah, white is not strong enough to start this fight.
What about now? Can white start the fight?
Probably not. I mean, white's a little bit better to start the fight, but I don't think this little semi-half move of help is enough.
Let's do some bad moves for black.
Yeah, now white can do it.
Okay, so it's the weakness on the right that we're saying is white doesn't have the right.
Yeah.
A little hard to see. Okay.
Yeah. It's because black is always willing to let white come in the C13 area and destroy the left. If white starts a fight and then tries to lean against C11 to gain strength during the fight, black is never going to answer white. Black is just going to give that away because black was already prepared to give away the left anyhow.
Yeah.
That was my plan when I played the P16 Shamari. I didn't care about the left, or I would have played on the left.
Right. So the left isn't necessarily the important thing. If there's a fight going on, we can just, deal with the fight and give something away. Okay.
Correct.
Good. Okay, good. Well, Chris, thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom with us.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
I think it's really cool that you can, that you have this head that it's like, no, any board, I can see what's going on and handle it. I can't do that.
Just studying a lot of pro games, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of pro games.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. And we'll see you next week, probably.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.